Ever since I was a little girl, I had always attended private school. For my sophomore year of high school, I decided to switch to public school. By moving schools, I changed not only my language verbally, but physically. This experience shaped me and changed me physically and mentally. One day, in my freshman year of high school, I had decided that maybe I would transfer to public school the next year, and I realized I should begin to talk to my parents about the situation. As I arrived home that day, I realized that I should talk to my parents, so I began to tell them how I believed that public school was a better fit for me, and they both agreed that we would look into it for the upcoming school year. I now began my first day of sophomore year at my new high school, my public high school, and I realized that I would need to change the way that I did certain things, spoke to certain people, and the way I acted. My first period at my new school had finally come. I had noticed as I walked around and looked around the classroom that the way people spoke to the teachers and the rules that they had to follow were slightly different than my Catholic school. Things were about to change for me, but it would be for the better. After a few weeks had passed, I began to adjust to the new environment and my language had begun to change. Although it was not only my physical language, my body language and tasks had changed as well. There were many new rules that had begun, and I had change coming my way. I definitely had certain tasks that I had to take a different approach to. As I began to get into the swing of things, I would come home and study day by day, which I never seemed to be able to do in my old school. My language also seemed to mature, and I was able to develop new words that I may not have learned in my old school. Both my dad and I began to realize how the schools impacted me. My language had changed, and the way I spoke to adults had become more efficient and more effective. My language had become more mature in my body language and my voice. The time has flown by, and I was now a senior in high school. I was about to graduate, and I have noticed how much has changed and how much has opened up for me because of the way that I've been taught to reach out to people and speak to others. As graduation day approached, I noticed that my language had become more mature. When I would speak to adults, my language became more proper, and I learned not to use slang terms as much. This school had taught me how to speak properly to adults and not use improper language when speaking to those that are older than you. My narrative is made to show and explain how change can help a person. From going from private school to a public school, the language changes immensely. The language here helped me to better find myself and grow as a person. My language has changed throughout high school, and my words and thoughts have become more mature and helped me to progress and learn, which is how I'm at the point I am today.